Good morning, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader. It is Tuesday, June the 24th. Time to do our daily trade plan. And wow, can you say rocket ship from yesterday? This market definitely shot way up off yesterday's lows here, down here around the 21,734s, and in the overnight session all the way up here to the 22,381s. This is higher than we've seen in quite some time. The recent high was back here on June 11th, which was at 22,318, and we broke that here in the pre-market this morning. So interesting enough, and I think the thing to look for today and the line in the sand is yesterday's high of day. And I believe that this is going to hold true, at least in my opinion, is that needs to hold on all of the indices. So the NASDAQ, we need to hold above yesterday's high. The ES, we need to hold above yesterday's high. The Dow Jones, we need to hold above yesterday's high. And the Russell, we need to hold above yesterday's high. And if, the big if, here we go with the if-then statements. If we can do that, then we are probably going higher. If we fall below yesterday's high, then we are probably going right back down into the channel chop. So I assume some of this was fueled by the Iran-Israel ceasefire, and then we have that little skirmish, or not skirmish, but that little couple of missiles that apparently were fired at Israel, and there's a potential ceasefire break, and who knows what's going to happen. So maybe this thing becomes a little bit choppy here this morning due to that, but I do think that most of this move was because of or at least in part was fueled by the news out of the Middle East. So could that have been the catalyst that we needed to move out of this current range that we've been in? If you go back, I don't know how quickly this will, I don't want to risk loading this up and wasting a lot of time, but we've been in this sideways chop on the NASDAQ pretty much for the entire month so far. And so yeah, the key levels coming into play this morning in the pre-market of the overnight session, the 22,250s, and this level has some reactions back on the 4-hour chart I was looking at earlier this morning. I forget when I looked at it, but it's been a few months ago. This level had some reactions, so very, very clear reason as to why we got this bounce. We actually got a beautiful break and retest long off of that here this morning. So we'll see if that holds. And I think the big thing to look for here is if we get pullbacks to any of these levels, or if we get, honestly, if we get a pullback back to yesterday's high and we can hold off of that, that would be an extremely bullish move. I would not be sad to see that happen this morning. Obviously, if we fall below, that's not good, but getting a pullback to any of these levels, looking for longs off of that would be great. I'm not looking for shorts unless we fall below yesterday's high of day. To the upside, there is definitely some potential to the upside. If we can break that, we've got pretty much free air until we get to about the 500s, and then we've got pretty much free space until we get to the 700s. So some nice potentials on the NASDAQ, and definitely be looking to try to take some opportunities there today. ES, similar picture. Again, we have broken out of these highs. Let's look at the moving averages going back to the NASDAQ. The daily 20 is sitting at about middle of yesterday's range, and then we have the other moving averages are sitting significantly below price on the NASDAQ. ES, like I said, we've broken out above this previous high. We're back under the previous high, this little wick. Really the key high area would be about the 61.16s, which we are trading above, and we pulled back and had a beautiful break and retest off of that here this morning. Obviously that's not a trade I took, but it is there. So again, very similar picture. We're looking for pullbacks to this level, or the high of day from yesterday on ES, and looking for moves to the upside. And again, likewise as on the NASDAQ, we've really been sitting pretty much in the sideways range. Yeah, largely, yeah, since about the early part of June here. So we've been sitting in this range for about a month, and it looks like we may finally be breaking out. I really don't want this to break back below yesterday's high of day and go back into the middle of the range, but that maybe that's what happens. We shall see. But definitely looks bullish this morning, and I hope this move continues. That is definitely how I typically find the better trades, if we get some nice moves and we get opportunities at breaks and retests at these key points. So yes, we're looking at at the 6114s, we're looking at the 6100s, and we're looking at the high of day from yesterday around 6082. If we get pullbacks to those levels, obviously we're looking to take longs there. The daily 200 sitting down here at 59.70. The daily 20 is sitting around the 60.30s, and I think the daily 100 and 200, or daily 150, yes, are sitting about together here down around the 58.50. So moving averages are below price. That should be pushing this market higher, as we had seen on the NASDAQ. So pretty clear there. Moving to the Dow Jones. Remember yesterday I drew this little trend channel thinking that maybe this is really bearish. Obviously that was a pullback for a long opportunity, which is completely fine. Definitely pushed up quite nicely there. We are in the middle of this little consolidation area on the Dow Jones. So I really want to move this. I'm really not looking to take a long trade into this. Now, if we get a pullback to yesterday's high of day, yes, I would consider longing, but you get into this area and this is a mess. This is not something I want to be a part of on the Dow Jones. So I want to stay out of that area. And the other thing that has me cautious about the Dow Jones is we still have the daily 200, this big daily moving average, sitting right up here at these recent highs around the 43,480s. So that gives me some level of caution. I think maybe do we get the power that we need on the NASDAQ and on the ES? Does that give us the push we need to get the Dow Jones through this level? If we can do that, there's definitely some upside potential. In fact, I don't have anything charted until all the way up here at the 44,600. So we could, if this breaks out, really, really go. And again, other than the daily 200, the rest of the moving averages are sitting below price on the Dow Jones. So hopefully this continues to push out, but I'm not really interested in anything long until we get above this previous high here on the 43,280s, and then being cautious into the 200. If we can break the 200s, fantastic. Then we're looking to go. And we're probably on a bit of a rocket ship at that point. If we fall below the yesterday's high of day, we're falling back into this range, and obviously probably looking for downside then. Last but not least is the Russell. Here's the, this is the only chart I'm back on the 60-minute. The other ones I'm on the 15-minute, just, or 30-minute and 15-minute, just because of trying to get a little bit more granular with the moves and the levels. But on the Russell, I have this still zoomed out. Yesterday I talked about this the zone here that we have from about the 2160s down here to the 2100s maybe, and we want to stay out of that, and we did stay out of that as far as taking trades, and we have obviously rocketed all the way back up here. And so now we have a key point here sitting right here around the 2166s, and you can see we've pulled back to that level. So interestingly enough, on the Russell you have the 2166. On the Dow Jones we didn't have anything. On the ES it's the 6114s, and on the NASDAQ it's the 22250s. All of those getting pullbacks to that exact level, which corresponds with some of these lows and a couple of these highs from back here about a week and a half ago. So very, very bullish, and definitely looking to take longs if we can get pullbacks. If this holds here around market open, obviously that would be a long to take. This would be a long if we get a pullback to the 2130s, 56s, and if we get something into yesterday's high of day, that would definitely be a long as well. If we fall below, same message occurs. We are probably dropping to the downside, and that's not something I want to get interested or get involved in, is back into this range. So definitely looking for pullback longs, pullback break and retest longs here at these key levels on the Russell. So a lot of opportunity today. Looks very clear, very, very clear when you're looking at the technicals on what we want to look for today. And so that is the game plan. So again, I'm looking forward to today. Hopefully we can have a pretty solid day. The market seems to be pretty clear unless something changes here this morning. Obviously, I think the big watch here is a couple of these levels on the ES and on the NASDAQ, and does that give us the power to push the rest of these markets up through some of these, the big one here being this big daily 200 moving average on the Dow Jones. News, let's take a quick look at news yet before I let you go this morning. I think there's news. Today is Tuesday. We have Fed Chair Powell testifying at 10 o'clock. Richmond Manufacturing, Consumer Confidence, those are all at 10 o'clock, red and yellow folder events. So 10 o'clock hour might be a little bit ugly. So the morning might be a little bit crazy. You want to be careful about that. And anytime you get a red folder event and Fed Powell speaking, things can become a little bit erratic. So today could be an area where maybe the best trading occurs between 9:30 and 10, or not until the afternoon. But again, we just want to respect in the way I trade is looking for the technicals and taking our trades based off of that. So that's the plan for the day. The big thing to watch out for is, can we hold yesterday's high of day? That is the message loud and clear that we want to be talking about today. If we can hold yesterday's high of day, we've got a chance to take the bulls to take this thing higher. So that's what we're hoping for. That's what we're watching for. And if that does not occur, then we obviously adjust accordingly. So that's the plan for today. Good luck out there. Trade well. And until next time, take care and so long.